Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and we got a treat for you this weekend. Going to Martinsville, under the lights. It's the last race of the season before the All-Star race next Friday night, so one last chance to get in the All-Star race. And we're here to qualify at the Martinsville Speedway for the STP Old Dominion 500, which will be run tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern over on Napa Fan. And another night race coming up here for the Chick-fil-A Cup. He's definitely looking forward to it, and looking forward to see who can pull it off here. It's going to be a wild race. We're going to see a lot of slipping and sliding. Going alongside Trey Wright. Of course, we just did the Turkey Hill Series race, so we know how that all went down. How do you think tomorrow's race is going to go here for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series?
Well, tomorrow's race, Napa, is definitely going to be very interesting. With the Turkey Hill Series, we saw with their high downforce and low horsepower package, a little bit of your standard Martinsville racing. Meanwhile, tomorrow for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, it's all high horsepower, low downforce. They are going to be sliding through the corners, not as necessarily drifting, but they're definitely going to be slipping and sliding through turns 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So it's definitely going to be an interesting race and who can win here at the Martinsville Speedway at night.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild race. Of course, we got Turkey Hill Series coming up in less than an hour over on Napa Fan. Tomorrow night's the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race here from Martinsville, and then the New Era Cup Series heads to Martinsville under the lights as well on Saturday night. So a lot of great stuff coming at your way here in the NOFSRL over the coming days. We got ourselves Dillon Young in the 07, Lathan Strickland in the 08, Carter Friesen in the 21, Owen Miles in the 55, Brandon Mayhew in the 57, Trey Smith in the 67, Dale Salzmann in the 71, Clark McKee in the 98. Those are the hot seat drivers for today. Top 2 fastest will advance on and race in tomorrow's STP Old Dominion 500 from Martinsville.
And you can see the grandstands are empty. This is the 2020 quarantine version of Martinsville.
You just had to make that joke, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Well, I will say, when we do get the race going on through the corners, there aren't any fans. This is the Martinsville Night modified version back in 2006, 2007, I think. Before they installed official lights here at Martinsville, they had a modified race here at Martinsville. And they brought in lights, and there were only stands in the main grandstand. So you might notice that in the race tomorrow night and later on in the Turkey Hill Series, but that's not going to take away from anything because real-life NASCAR is going to be coming up here soon without any fans, so you might as well get used to it. But either way, Brandon Mayhew fastest in the 57, second fastest Owen Miles in the 55. And this is one of those tracks where drafting does not come into play. It actually slows you down a little bit to be behind someone, I do believe. You know, the 21 of Carter Friesen there, who was actually a full-time driver last year in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Just went to the top of the board behind the 08, so what am I talking about? Friesen to the top of the board. And then Owen Miles now in second in the 55 machine, so maybe you do want a little bit of a draft here. It's amazing how that works out at a place like Martinsville, of all places. Mayhew's going to go to the top of the board. He doesn't have any drafting help there. Now the 07 of Dillon Young. Velocity Racing. Dillon Young and Chloe Reiner have not driven this 07 that much in the hot seat. Nick Smith has had it for over half the races so far, I believe. And Nick Smith actually leads in the points of the unchartered drivers for the Turkey Hill hot seat. I think with 75 total points this season. He's made 3 races. Right now, Dillon Young and Brandon Mayhew have the top 2 positions here for STP Old Dominion 500 unchartered qualifying. And we saw Dillon Young kind of working the middle lane there through the corner. We're going to be seeing that in tomorrow's race. But like Trey mentioned, I don't think we're going to see too much of it in the Turkey Hill Series race. They run a much higher downforce than these guys do. But these guys are really going to be whipping it through the corners tomorrow night for the Chick-fil-A Cup. It's going to be a wild race, just like last week's race was at Dover. My, oh my. But look at the kind of crossover moves you get here in Martinsville under the lights. See 08 of Lathan Strickland moving on the 21 there. They've actually swapped positions a couple of times. It's not helping them out at all. They're a couple of the slowest cars now. 67 just went to the top of the board, knocking Mayhew out of the advancement position. Trey Smith, who won the Turkey Hill Series race at Dover last week, looking to advance on and race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series at Martinsville.
It is as the clock runs down, uncharted qualifying I think the 67 and the '07 are going to advance to the top of the board. I don't think the '08 and the 21, they are door slamming each other coming off turns 3 and 4.
Giving us a taste of what we're going to see tomorrow night. I'll say that much. This is going to be a fun race. That's all I got to say. Just like last week was at Dover, just like Talladega was 2 weeks ago. I think it's going to be a pretty darn fun race. And the 57 of Mayhew just knocked off Dillon Young. Young going into the pits. He will not make the show. Mayhew just went to the top position in the 57 right at the end. And it's Brandon Mayhew and Trey Smith who will be racing in tomorrow's STP Old Dominion 500. Just like that. Young thought he had it, but right at the end, Mayhew posts the fastest time. And Mayhew and Smith will be advancing on and racing in tomorrow's 100-lap race. And they're also going to join the other 40 full-time drivers for pole qualifying here from the Paperclip in Martinsville, Virginia. And we are here once again. This time, we're going to set the starting lineup for the STP Old Dominion 500. And where you start in this race means a lot. It's still a short track, but I don't think it's going to play out like Bristol where passing is impossible. I mean, we even saw it there in unchartered qualifying. Those two guys going after it there. I think we're going to see a lot of that in tomorrow night's race. Pit strategy might also come into play. We're expecting a one-stop race tomorrow. Hopefully that's all it's going to be. We don't really need too many pit stops, especially if they're green flag pit stops. Don't want those here in Martinsville, I can tell you that much. But we're in store for a good show, and we're going to have to see who starts on the pole position. Trey Bartow. It has been a tough season for Bartow. I got to be honest with you. Started off really, really good, but since he was the points leader, I think, entering race 4 of the season, now 37th in points. He's lost 37 positions in 7 races.
Oh, man.
That ain't too good. But Bartow, you know, he's a solid driver. He wants to finish off his last year in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series strong. And maybe, just maybe, he'll get a race victory. I mean, heck, the last win he's got in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series was at North Wilkesboro, which plays out very similarly to Martinsville. Of course, we'll be going to North Wilkesboro during the James and E. Wickard Shootout, which is coming up in about a month, June 11th through 13th on Napa Fan. Definitely looking forward to that event. Me and Alex Bonks are putting that on, honoring our late friends James and Dean Wickard, who are part of this community. And every year we honor them and honor the whole community as a whole, and just be thankful that we're all here having some fun with some racing. And always a huge event. We're looking forward to that. Indy 250 week coming up in 2 weeks. Actually, starting next weekend with Indianapolis 250 qualifying. Tomorrow night's IndyCar driver sign-ups on Napa Fan. And then next weekend as well, we got ourselves the Chick-fil-A Cup Series All-Star Race. This time the Melliello All-Star Race. Melliello, new sponsor of the All-Star Race at Charlotte. That's going to be fun for a cash prize of $25 and, of course, a reserve for season number 10 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So lots of great stuff coming up here on Napa Fan. And real NASCAR's looking to come back here, too. Hopefully it stays that way. So a lot of good things to look forward to, even though quarantine's still happening around the country. Who cares? We're all having fun here in the NOFSRL, and we're doing it safely as well. And Trey Bartow having some fun right now. Still the fastest guy here in qualifying. John Arndt, that's another guy who has had a very tough season. He was second in the... wasn't second in the championship last year. He was 4th in the championship, I believe, last year. Somewhere around there. He was really good in the championship last year. Got a win at Pocono. But unfortunately for John Arndt, he just couldn't pull off the championship ahead of Nathan Baird last year, and this season's just been much worse for him, making the move over, actually technically replacing Nathan Baird. King Art Family Racing took all the assets from the number 40 team last year, put them in the 05 team, and the 40 team this year is technically a new team with Bradley Ream. They've been doing really good. John Arndt, on the other hand, the 21-time Napa Fan winner, has not been so hot this year, but he's 4th fastest right now here in qualifying. Not a bad spot to be. Now 5th fastest, Samad Ozkin has just gone to 2nd, but it's still Bartow fastest. Nathan Baird to 3rd. Dalio is 4th. Nathan Faden, John Arndt, Tristan Allen 7th. Reagan Whitlock, Fisher G, Nicolay Sykes. But I don't know how it's going to play out with how well you do in relation to where you start. We could see a lot of crazy things happen tomorrow night. Nathan Baird to 2nd. Beating off Sam and Ozkin there. Watch out for Baird. He might actually get the pole here in a couple of laps.
And Mike's Hard Lemonade, he's driving hard around the Martinsville Speedway. Rounding turn 4, gonna see what his time is.
Doesn't look like he's going to advance there. Bartow still with the fastest time, though, in a 19.861. And Titan Fury as a team this year has not been as strong as they have been in years past. They have definitely fallen behind compared to the other teams. It's a little bit interesting for those guys because they've been the owners' champions the past 2 seasons. Right now, they're in the bottom half of the owners' championship. They have not won a race yet this season. Same drivers from last year: Brad Stover, Trey Bartow, Sebastian Kukulon. All 3 of those guys won last year. Not so far the case this year for those guys, and we'll have to see how it all works out for them as the season rolls along. But you can see it here in qualifying. These guys slipping up the racetrack, a lot of side-by-side going on here in qualifying. We're going to see a lot of that tomorrow night in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race. Like we mentioned, not going to see as much of that in the Circle Series. Circle Series race still a great race, but I think the Chick-fil-A Cup Series is going to be a little bit crazier. Fitzy up to second. Knocked Nathan Baird off the outside pole. And now Reagan Whitlock going to second, putting Fitzy in third. See where Whitlock is on the racetrack. The number 92. That team has done an excellent job this season. Full Frontal Motorsports, they got themselves a veteran driver who has won in the series before. Of course, Whitlock drove in Season 1. And while he's not been in every season since Season 1, he's definitely got the experience on a lot of the guys around him. And that 92 looking to possibly get a race victory tomorrow. Now he's third as Fisher G just went to second. Patrick Smith, Mark Davidson moving up. Then Zachary Fitzwater, Nathan Barrett, Sam Oskin. Davidson now up to second, but nobody can get Bartow. 19.808. Bartow's been the fastest driver the entire session. He was the first driver out there, and no one except Bartow has been the fastest so far. Don't usually see that. Sam Anitas went to 9th. Oskin is now 10th. John Arndt moved up to 3rd. Great run for Arndt right there. And you got Tristan Allen now in 9th. A lot of different drivers up inside the top 10 right there. Bartow, Davidson, Arndt, G, Whitlock, Smith, Fitzwater, Baird, Allen, San Mateo. Every single driver inside the top 10 right now is a Chick-fil-A Cup Series veteran. No rookies inside the top 10 right now. How about that?
Martinsville is one of the most technical racetracks on the circuit, so it's no surprise that veterans are teaching the new dogs some new tricks here at the Martinsville Speedway. And Bartow continues to have the pole position.
Fisher G came close, but he only beat Davidson with his lap. There goes Cody Sill to 7th. Great run there for the Golden Motorsport driver. See if I can find him on the racetrack. So many guys out there. Oh boy, Troxel cutting down there. There's Cody Sill. And we had it focused on Stapleton there for a second.
I think,
Oh, hey, you just went to the top of the board, Cody Sill did. Finally, someone has beaten Trey Bartow. It's Cody Sill in the 37. And I think it's important to mention, before Cody Sill was actually a driver in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, he had a development driver in before he had himself in. Larry Ike won the Season 5 race here at Martinsville. Then we mentioned Nathan Stapleton. We were going to focus on him there. Stapleton won here in season number 7. That was his first and so far only Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. And then last year, Jonathan Skimnicki won this race, but Skimnicki is not in this season. But very, very interesting to see Cody Sill late in the session. I mean, that's a lot like what we saw in Unchartered qualifying when Brandon Mayhew moved up into the top position to take the spot away. This time it's Cody Sill who looks like he's going to be starting on the pole for tomorrow's STP Old Dominion 500. It's Cody Sill and his teammate Silas Orta also moving up there. Cody Sill, Trey Bartow, Fisher G, Mark Davidson, John Arndt, Silas Orta, Reagan Whitlock, Keegan Thompson, Brandon Mayhew to 5th. What a run there for the rookie driver in the Turkey Hill hot seat. We have not had an unchartered driver win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series since Season 7 at Pocono with Matt Tuck. Mayhew might have a shot tomorrow night in that 57 machine. What a run there.
Indeed, Mayhew, he went to the top of the board in unchartered qualifying at the last second, and he put a decent run together tomorrow for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We'll just have to wait and see, but definitely gonna be a great thing if he can pull this top 5 start off for our Island Motorsports.
Definitely would be. Take a look at the rest of the results right here. The times have gotten faster as the session has gone on. See, I mentioned Stapleton. He's 40th fastest right now. Dale Lightning, Ace Garcia at the back of the field there. And then Brad Stover. All those guys, they're the only 4 guys who have not crescendoed past the 20-second mark. Everybody else has. Nikolai Sykes to 3rd. Great run for Sykes there, rookie driver. A lot of these guys closing in here. You know, they have time to come back down the pit lane, get tires, and go back out there. And that might be what we're seeing. Get your car warmed up a little bit and then go back out there again with fresh tires. And I think that's what we've seen. So Nikolai Sykes up to 3rd. But it's Cody Sill in the number 37 machine, who appears to be starting on the pole position. And you know what? He's got a bit of front-end damage to his race car. He might have actually benefited from that. Interestingly enough there. 67 of Trey Smith just whipped to 9th. Both unchartered drivers going to be starting inside the top 10 tomorrow night. But they're going to be led by Cody Sill and Trey Bartow, who will be starting on the front row for the STP Old Dominion 500. Nikolai Sykes, Fisher G, Mark Davidson, Brandon Mayhew, John Arndt, Silas Orta, Trey Smith, and Reagan Whitlock at the top 10. Take a look at the rest of the results right there. Look for any ties. We got one between Alonso and Shane Lake. Shane Lake's going to have the advantage in that one. Brett Sear and Kukulon. We'll have to check the points for that. Haslam and Troxel. I'm pretty sure... Ooh, you know what? They're really close. I think that one actually might go to Troxel. And we also actually have a tie between Brandon Mayhew and John Arndt, which means John Arndt will be starting in 6th and Mayhew will be starting in 7th. Other than that, I think those are the only ties. Of course, we'll get that all organized for you, and then we'll have the official starting lineup tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on NapaFan. It's the STP Old Dominion 500 from the paperclip. In less than an hour over on NapaFan, we got ourselves a Norfolk Southern 300 in the Turkey Hill Series. So if you want some Martinsville racing action, just head over to NapaFan. Gonna have a 60-lap race there for those guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And on behalf of Trey Wright, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the 100-lap event here from the Martinsville Speedway. Congratulations to Cody Sill for winning the pole, and I will see you guys later.